Trump naming a new national security advisor and responding to criticism from the man formerly in that position.
Meanwhile, the president also slapping new sanctions on Iran today. Our D.C. Bureau Chief Ross Palumbo live now outside the White House with your one and only report at 11. Ross.
Calvin and Nicole, the president did name a new national security advisor today, just as the old one, John Bolton, was speaking out on the president's foreign policy, not only in Iran, but in Venezuela.
Just as the president was making his first appearance with his newly named national security advisor.
We're with Robert O'Brien.
Fired national security advisor John Bolton naming Trump's foreign policy as doomed to failure, referring to North Korea and Iran, Politico reporting. Bolton also saying Trump's failure to respond to the Iranian attack on a U.S. drone 3 months ago, setting the stage for this recent bombing of Saudi Arabian refineries. One of Bolton's critics, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, now in that country, calling the bombing an act of war by Iran. The president now is responding, tweeting, "I've just instructed the Secretary of the Treasury to substantially increase sanctions on the country of Iran."
We're monitoring that situation closely.
Robert O'Brien saying little about the path forward, but the president not ruling out a U.S. military strike after a team of U.S. investigators now says they found compelling forensic evidence of Iranian involvement.
If we have to do something, we'll do it without hesitation.
John Bolton also not hesitating on Venezuela and Cuba. Politico reporting Bolton claimed there were 20,000 to 25,000 Cuban troops in the South American country. The day they left, he predicted, the Nicolas Maduro regime would fall by midnight.
It's going to be a very interesting period of time.
The president tweeting just after firing Bolton, "My views on Venezuela and especially Cuba were far stronger than those of John Bolton. He was holding me back."
Mr. President, how is John Bolton holding you back on Venezuela, sir?
Cuba has always made it possible for Venezuela to do what they're doing, and frankly, that's ending now.
Do you want military action in Venezuela? And breaking tonight, take a look at this. The Washington Post now reporting that the president's communications with a foreign leader and some sort of promise he made is what sparked a whistleblower to file a complaint in order to warn the government. That complaint should have legally been delivered to the House Intelligence Committee, but Trump's acting director of national intelligence, Joe Maguire, is refusing to release it. Now, coming up tomorrow, the inspector general that considers this an urgent matter will testify in front of the House Intelligence Committee. And Calvin and Nicole, the acting DNI, who has ignored at least one subpoena, has now tonight agreed to also testify in front of the House Intelligence Committee. That's coming up next week. Of course, we'll keep you updated. For now, though, that's the very latest live from the White House. Back to you.
Okay, Ross, we'll see you tomorrow.